effect on in the economy which happens due to expansionary policies कि डिमांड साइड पे जो भी इफेक्ट आएगा वो शॉर्ट रन के लिए होगा बट लॉन्ग रन में automatically people come to know that what real change has happened, so level of employment and output remains constant. That we have done through the Phillips curve also, long run Phillips curve जो हम करते थे. But business cycle theory says that even for the shorter duration के लिए भी people do not get befooled by the change in the expansionary policies, befooled by the change in the aggregate demand, because through rational expectations they come to know that how policy effect will work, how the prices will change, wages will change because of the government announcements, because of the effect of these policies. So real business cycle says that because of that, they say that any change in the economy, any change in the output and employment level in the economy will not be due to aggregate demand and not even for short run के लिए भी ये इफेक्ट जो है ये डिमांड साइड से नहीं आता है. Keynes says that it is from the demand side. Monetarist says that for the shorter duration effect will be there from the demand side, but ultimately people will rationalize, log rationalize कर लेंगे and again the situation will become the same. Long run में इनका कोई effect नहीं होगा. But real business cycle theories basically says that even for the short run, people do not get befooled by the changes in the aggregate demand because they make the rational expectation. So business cycle hypothesis also expect the rational expectation, and people spend their resources on getting this information, and through their experience, through the information which is available to them, people now can predict that what changes in prices and wages, what type of expansions in the economy are happening, right? So they say that because of that, the any change in the aggregate demand side will not have effect on the output and employment in the economy. That means the expansion in the economy, जिसको हम expansionary phase कहते हैं, और contraction in the economy, जिसको हम contractionary phase कहते हैं, this will not happen due to aggregate demand. ये aggregate demand की वजह से नहीं होता, not even for the shortest duration. They say that it happens because if there are शॉक्स ऑन दी सप्लाई साइड, अगर सप्लाई साइड पे कोई शॉक लगता है, then because of that shock, because of that disturbance, there are changes in the economy, there are changes in the output, there are changes in the employment, right? So according to them, expansions and contractions in the economy, in the output, in the employment takes place because of these technological shocks, because of the real shocks. These shocks can be technological shocks, ये technological shocks हो सकते हैं. These shocks can be shock in the government's tax structure. अगर government का tax structure change होता है, then these shocks can be due to that. These shocks can be due to changes in the prices of the fuel like petrol, oil prices. अगर ये change होते हैं, then because this will have effect on the supply side पे effects आएगा. Right? So according to them, any factor, they have taken multiple factors, and multiple factors can act as a shock on the supply side. So these are the real factors which affect the which affects the productivity in the economy, which affects the output in the economy, which affects the employment in the economy, right? So whatever factor affects the productivity in the economy, affects the production process in the economy, that will be responsible for generating business cycles in the economy. That is why they have called it real business cycle. इसको real business cycle theory कहा है because according to them, because of the change in the real factors on the supply side of the economy, the cyclical fluctuation takes place in the economy. Cyclical fluctuations होती हैं. Now, when we will discuss this real business cycle, we will take the technological shock, which basically creates the expansionary or contractionary phases in the economy, or which are responsible for the deviation of the economy from the equilibrium path, because technological shock is one of very important shocks due to which economy deviates from the equilibrium path. But any shock which have a significant effect on the supply side, on the production activity, that shock can deviate the economy from the equilibrium path. Right? Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we will be taking the example of technological shock. हम technological shock का example लेंगे, right? Now we have discussed the assumptions also. जैसे हमने लिया था कि wages and prices are considered as flexible, fluctuations in employment are voluntary, population is given, so there is fixed labor force. Labor force हम fixed ले रहे हैं. There are the economic agents are rational in their behavior, right? And market gets clear. जो market है वो automatically clear हो जाता है because of the fluctuations in the prices and wages. So automatically markets get clear, market clear हो जाते हैं, right? So these all assumptions we have done. Then we have taken this assumption also that these agents are जो economic agents हैं, they are identical. They identical हैं. That means if we discuss the case of one firm, that how because of the technological shock the output of that firm get affected, that means the example of that firm will be replica for all the firms in the economy. If we discuss the case of a one person in the labor market, that how his work and leisure activity gets changed because of the technological change, then that means that person will represent all the labor which are there in the labor market. So with the help of a one unit, we can basically represent all the units, because it is assumed that the agents are rational in their behavior and they are identical. वो identical है, that means whatever decision is taken by them, that is for maximizing their own satisfaction, that is for maximizing their self-interest. Right? Now for example, हम example लेते हैं कि suppose first we will take the example of a firm. हम एक firm का example लेते हैं. That firm, the objective of the firm is to maximize its profit. Profit को maximize करना firm का objective है. Right? In order to maximize its profit, firms enters into the production process. जो firm है वो production करती है because objective of the firm is to earn maximum profit. In order to produce the output, here we will assume that this firm uses two factors of production. One is capital and another one is labor. Right? So now I'm sharing my screen. With this model, we will move forward. Okay. Now, this firm produces the output Y, and this Y is a function of capital and labor units, right? And there is one addition in the production function by the real business cycle theory, that is parameter Z. Now, what is this Z? Z over here represents the shock in the economy. It represents the supply side shock. ये supply side shock को represent कर रहा है. So over here we have assumed that we have taken a technology as a shock on the supply side. So over here Z basically represents the state of technology. Z यहाँ पे state of technology represent कर रहा है. If we in a general way, Z basically represents all kind of supply shocks which can happen in the economy, and over here we have only assumed one shock, so Z is representing the state of technology इन द इकोनॉमी, स्टेट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी को जो है रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है. K is the capital stock, K capital stock है, and N is the labor input. जो N है वो labor input है, right? And we have assumed that population is given, so that is why the labor force is fixed in the economy. जो labor force है वो fixed है economy में. Now as far as K is,
ma'am,
हाँ जी,
this Z is representing shock, मतलब कि जो टेक्नोलॉजी है वो इम्प्रूव नहीं हो रही है, वो आउटडेट हो रही है.
नहीं, शॉक क्या होता है? जब हम शॉक वर्ड यूज करते हैं, एनीथिंग, तुम इसको वो डेवलपमेंट की थ्योरी के साथ रिलेट मत करो कि शॉक और स्टिमुलेंट. यहाँ हम शॉक और स्टिमुलेंट को अलग अलग नहीं कर रहे हैं. एनीथिंग which makes the economy jerk or get away from the equilibrium path, that is known as shock, right? That anything which is bringing change in the economy, जो change लेकर आ रहा है economy में, anything which is taking the economy away from the steady path of the growth, that is known as shock, right? So even the technological advancement is the shock. क्योंकि इकोनॉमी एक स्टेट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी में अभी ऑपरेट कर रही है, टेक्नोलॉजिकल इंप्रूवमेंट आती है, न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी आती है, ड्यू टू दैट इकोनॉमी मूव्स फ्रॉम द प्रीवियस स्टेट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी टू द न्यू स्टेट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी. दैट इज आल्सो अ शॉक फॉर द इकोनॉमी. तो यहाँ पे तुम शॉक को नेगेटिव सेंस में मत लो. शॉक और स्टिमुलेंट हम अलग अलग नहीं कर रहे हैं, दोनों को कंबाइन करके एक ही कैटेगरी में कर रहे हैं, जिसको हम शॉक कह रहे हैं.
यस मैम.
Right? So over here production function is Z, which is and function of capital and labor. Now generally when we make use of this type of a production function, we take capital stock as given. हम capital stock को given लेते हैं. But in this production function which has been taken by the real business cycle theorist, the K is not fixed factor. जो K है वो given factor नहीं है. K is the factor which is determined by the firm or by the producer according to their optimum decision, that what type of a capital stock will be suitable for optimizing their production function, for getting maximum profit. So over K, it is not a fixed, ये fixed नहीं है. It is the variable which is determined by the optimizing behavior of the firm. जो optimizing behavior है firm का, उससे ये determine हो रहा है, right? Is that clear?
Yes ma'am.
Right? So and over here if we are assuming that labor force is given, अगर labor force हम यहाँ पे given assume कर रहे हैं and it is fixed and we are just looking at the effect on the output due to effect of technology on the capital पे क्या effect आ रहा है, then we can simplify this production function. इस production function को हम simplify करके कर रहे हैं, that y is equal to z, which is a function of k, जो k का function है, right? Now in the next
क्यों नहीं ले रहे हम इसमें?
यहाँ पे हम अभी assume कर रहे हैं, हमने population given माना, इसलिए हमने लेबर यूनिट जो लेबर फोर्स है वो हमने फिक्स्ड assume किया है यहाँ पे, राइट? फॉर द टाइम बीइंग, मैं आगे हम लेबर को भी लेंगे. फॉर द टाइम बीइंग वी आर जस्ट शोइंग दैट बिकॉज ऑफ द टेक्नोलॉजिकल शॉक की वजह से व्हाट चेंज इन द स्टॉक ऑफ कैपिटल विल कम, ड्यू टू दैट देयर विल बी चेंज इन द आउटपुट. जो आउटपुट है उसमें भी चेंज आएगा, राइट? So in second example, जब हम second example लेंगे, जब हम लेबर मार्केट को भी इसमें इंक्लूड करेंगे कि टेक्नोलॉजिकल शॉक का कैपिटल मार्केट में ही नहीं लेबर मार्केट पे भी इफेक्ट आता है, then we will take L along with it. हम L को भी इसके साथ लेंगे, right? But L over here doesn't mean कि L change ही नहीं होगा. No doubt labor force is given, but the working hours can be changed. जो given labor force है वो अपने working hours को change कर सकती है. They can increase their working hours. Because of that the labor effort of the labor, the input of the labor will increase because of the change in the labor units. But right now in the first example we are taking the effect of technological shock on the capital stock में क्या effect आता है technological shock की वजह से, we are studying that. Right now that means y is equal to z, which is representing the technology, and k is representing the predetermined capital stock, right? Now in the capital stock, जो ये हमारा capital stock है, in k, in time period t plus 1, that means if it is yt, ये yt है, so it is a function of zt, which is the state of technology in time period t, and k is the stock which is available in time period t. Then in t plus 1 time period, that means in the next year, how much capital will be there? That will be equal to it, that is the investment done in the टाइम पीरियड टी, जो इन्वेस्टमेंट होगी टाइम पीरियड टी में, प्लस दिस इज 1 माइनस एस के टी, राइट? दैट मीन्स this is one. What is this 1 minus s? S is the rate of depreciation. S rate of depreciation है, right? So 1 minus s will represent that how much capital from the current time period after depreciation will left over for the use in the future time period or in the next year. And IT is representing the investment. Fresh capital जो है वो कितनी induce होगी, so I represents that. So in KT plus 1, that means in the next time period, how much level of the capital stock will increase? That is equal to the investment plus I minus 1 minus S KT. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So with this function, suppose initially the economy is at a certain given state of technology. Suppose that state of technology is Z0. वो state of technology Z0 है. So YT is equal to Z0 function of KT. Now suppose technological advancement takes place. Technological advancement होती है. Because of technological advancement, this Z variable get changed, and then YT becomes equal to Z1 function of KT. So because of technological advancement, this Z0 parameter get changed and its value becomes equal to Z1. So this is representing the change in the state of technology, and there is improvement in the state of technology. There is appreciation in the state of technology. Now because of this, just a second back. Now due to this, what will happen? Initially, this is the production function. ये हमारा production function है, right? And here we take the capital stock. यहाँ पे हम capital stock ले रहे हैं, right? And over here, this production function represent that y is equal to Z0 function of k, right? Now because and over here we take output, यहाँ पे हम output ले रहे हैं. Now because of the technological advancement, this production function will shift in the upward direction. जो production function है वो upward direction में shift हो जाएगा, and it will become that now y is equal to Z1 function of k, right? Now because of technological advancement, we can see that suppose in the this time period 1, K is the stock of capital, and with this stock of capital, Y0 level of output is being produced. Because of technological advancement, with the same amount of capital stock now, the Y1 level of output now can be produced. But with the technological advancement, marginal productivity of capital will increase. जो marginal productivity है capital की वो increase हो जाएगी. when the marginal productivity of capital will increase, then because firm is the rational agent, जो firm है वो rational agent है, they will start investing more in the capital stock. वो capital stock में ज़्यादा invest करना शुरू कर देंगे because the marginal productivity of capital has increased now. Due to this, what will happen in the next time period? The capital stock will increase from AK to OK to OK1. जो capital stock है वो OK से OK1 पे increase हो जाएगा. Because of that, we can see that the point of production will shift and the level of output in the next time period will increase from OY1 to OY2 because of the higher marginal productivity. That means the economy was on the steady state of equilibrium with OK stock of capital and was producing OY0 level of output. Because of technological shock, production function shifts in the upward direction. जो production function है वो upward direction में shift हो जाएगा. Because of the shift in the production function in the upward direction, in the current time period with the OK same stock of capital, OY1 level of output is being produced. That means more output is being produced. This more output is being produced because the marginal productivity of capital has improved. When the marginal productivity of capital has improved, the factor of production की marginal productivity हम जो optimizing producer होता है या जो optimizing firm होती है वो कितना लेबर या कितना capital employ करती है? What is the equilibrium point where the marginal productivity is equal to
the marginal output?
Marginal productivity it is equal to their cost. उनकी cost के equal है. Yes. So due to now what has happened, the marginal productivity of capital has increased. Because of the increase in the marginal productivity of capital, now more investment will be done by the firms. जो firms हैं वो ज़्यादा investment करेंगी. Because of that, the firm will not remain on OK level of capital stock now. The firm will shift from OK level to OK1 level of capital stock. That means in the initial time period, OK was the stock of capital. Now OK1 is the stock of capital. The stock of investment has increased. Investment जो है वो economy में increase हो जाएगी. Output has increased, and because of the increase in investment, because of the increase in output, consumption will also increase in the economy because income has increased from OY0 to OY1. Then to OY2. Because of that, when there is increase in income, consumption will increase, savings will increase. With the increase in savings at the equilibrium points, investment will increase. Savings will become higher, investment will become higher, investment will increase, marginal productivity of factors of production will increase. Because of that, more factors of production being employed, so level of employment in the economy will also increase. So this is the effect of the technological shock in the economy. If the technological shock has a long life, उसकी long life है, that is permanent effect है, then the capital stock will keep on increasing for the multiple time period. जो capital stock है वो multiple time periods के लिए increase होता रहेगा because of the longer effect of the technology, longer effect, and this effect will keep on working till the economy reaches on the higher steady path. जब तक economy higher equilibrium path या higher steady path पे नहीं पहुंच जाती है. Is that clear?
Excuse me, ma'am. मैम जो हमने शो किया है Y0 से Y1, वो तो मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी इंक्रीज होने की वजह से है.
नहीं, वो मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिव ये वाला. अच्छा, जो OK से OY0 से OY1 आ गया.
यस मैम.
यस, ठीक है
मैम. बट जो K से K1 है वो हम इन्वेस्टमेंट इंक्रीज होने की वजह से शो कर रहे हैं.
Yes, because now the marginal productivity of capital is higher. If the marginal productivity of capital is higher, then the producers will start using more capital because now capital is more productive. Then they will start using more capital. That means they will increase their capital stock.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So suppose this is the ये marginal productivity of capital है, this is at some given level, right? Given level पे है, and on this marginal productivity suppose 10 units of capital are being utilized, because ये marginal productivity is equal to the real cost of capital, जो real cost है capital की उससे equal है. But when the marginal productivity of capital increase होती है, then more and more units of the capital आर बीइंग यूटिलाइज. जब ज्यादा से ज्यादा यूटिलाइज करोगे, यूज करोगे कैपिटल को, देन बिकॉज ऑफ द डिमिनिशिंग रिटर्न्स, तुम देखोगे कर्व हमारा जो है डाउनवर्ड बेंडिंग है. दैट मींस एज वी कीप ऑन एम्प्लॉइंग more and more units of capital, marginal productivity of capital starts decreasing, and it will again become equal to the cost of capital. But now जो second equilibrium है वो आएगा जब हम 20 machines को install कर लेंगे.
Yes, ma'am.
जैसे हम लेबर के केस में करते हैं, एम्प्लॉय मोर एंड मोर यूनिट्स ऑफ लेबर, द मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी स्टार्ट्स डिमिनिशिंग, मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी जो है डिमिनिश होती जाती है, एंड इक्विलिब्रियम पॉइंट कम्स वेयर द मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी ऑफ लेबर इज इक्वल टू वेज रेट.
यस मैम. मैम जो मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी है मैम, वो जो हमने प्रीवियस इक्वेशन की थी उसमें हमने उसको शो नहीं किया, इंस्टेड हमने डेप्रिसिएशन ली थी उसमें. तो हम ऐसे भी कह सकते हैं कि जब हमारे जो मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी इंक्रीज होगी कैपिटल की, तो डेप्रिसिएशन भी कम हो जाएगी.
यस, एंड जो स्टॉक डेप्रिसिएशन कम होगी तो स्टॉक ऑफ कैपिटल जो है, जितना ज्यादा आप कैपिटल इन्वेस्ट करते होगे नेक्स्ट टाइम पीरियड के लिए जो कैपिटल एक्यूमुलेशन है वो ज्यादा होती जाएगी.
मैम मतलब डेप्रिसिएशन कम होगी इसकी वजह से जो मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी इंक्रीज हुई है.
डेप्रिसिएशन अगर रेट ऑफ डेप्रिसिएशन अगर आपका फिक्स भी है, then also like your rate of depreciation if it is fixed, but your this k level will keep on increasing. जो आपका k level है वो increase होता जा रहा है, because of that for the next coming time period capital accumulation will be higher.
ओके मैम. मैम मतलब जरूरी नहीं है कि इसका इफेक्ट डेप्रिसिएशन पे आएगा या नहीं.
नहीं, वो जरूर, अगर आप फिक्स ले रहे हो, रेट ऑफ डेप्रिसिएशन फिक्स्ड है, पहले आपका 1 minus s था फॉर k, now you are using 1 minus s with k1, so capital accumulation will increase with time.
Okay ma'am.
Right, and when capital accumulation will increase with time, so due to this what will happen, initially the level of investment because of the technological shock will be higher investment hogi, then the rate of increase in investment will keep on reducing. Right, like for example इसको अभी यहाँ पे करते हैं, समझ आएगा. Right, so this is how the output will be higher. Now if we look at the effect of technological shock on the investment, अगर हम investment और output पे देखें कि technological shock का investment क्या है, यहाँ पे हम ले रहे हैं time period. Right, suppose economy in the right now economy is in this state of technology, economy is state of technology पे है, technological advancement takes place in the economy, because of that the level of technology from this A level shifts to the B level. AB represents the level of technological advancement in the economy, and this technological effect of this new technological advancement will remain there for all the periods. Right, now if we look at the effect on the investment, अगर हम investment पे effect देखें, then suppose till point this period, suppose this is period 1, this is period 1, this is period 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. Suppose now in the period 1 when the technological advancement will take place, there will be increase in the investment because the marginal productivity of capital is higher, more investment will take, output is higher, consumption is higher, saving is higher, investment is higher. जो investment है वो higher है, then investment will shift from level C to D. जो investment है वो first time period से लेकर second time period तक जो investment का level है वो C से D तक रहा. Right, but as we employ more and more capital, capital accumulation will take place, stock of capital will increase, जो stock of capital है वो increase होगा, capital accumulation होगा, and slowly what will happen, investment will take place, but because of the continuous increase in the stock of capital, capital accumulation is taking place. Because of that, in the next coming time period, the rate of investment, like for example from 1 to 2 rate of investment was C to D, right? Then from 2 to 3 time period rate of investment है वो fall करके it will be on this EF, वो EF पे रहेगा, right? Till third time period, then the rate of investment will from 3 to 4 it will be lesser, and the rate of investment will keep on decreasing for the coming time period. जो coming time periods में है उनमें rate of investment में जो है वो fall होता जाएगा, और previous capital accumulation जो previous से हमें capital accumulated capital मिल रही है उसका rate comparatively higher है. तो हम कहते हैं ना the stock of capital is more then the rate of investment is lesser. So previous time period say if more and more capital get accumulated then the rate of fresh investment will keep on decreasing. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, मतलब initially investment will increase, but later
Yes.
on it will start declining.
That whole rate of investment, that means पहले आपने 20% investment किया, अब वो investment rate है 20 से 15% पे आ गया, so investment is there but the rate of investment is falling.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So this is the effect on the investment, and if we look at the effect on the output, अगर output में देखें, so initially this is the output is in the steady state, right? It is in the equilibrium path because of the technological shock. Output will increase, जो output है वो increase होगी, and suppose the increase in the output is from E to G, या G to H ले लें, G to H. Now because of the increase in investment there is increase in the output भी increase हुआ है, but as the rate of investment is falling with the time period, the rate of increase in output will also fall because of the diminishing returns. क्योंकि diminishing returns है, as we employ more and more units of capital, the return from this capital will goes on decreasing. Because of that, first of all, output will increase with the higher rate. Then the increase in the rate of increase in the output will start reduce हो जाएगा till the time period output doesn't reach at the new state of equilibrium, which is the higher level of equilibrium as compared to the previous one. Is that clear? Because एक ही टेक्नोलॉजिकल शॉक का जो इफेक्ट है that will not remain forever, वो forever नहीं रहता है. टेक्नोलॉजिकल शॉक का इफेक्ट will be there, then the output will increase, but the output will not increase smoothly increase नहीं होगी. It is for this rate of increase in the output will be at a diminishing rate. ये diminishing rate पे है, and ultimately the output will reach at the highest level where it will become steady. ये steady हो जाएगी, it will be touch a new equilibrium path. So it is the expansionary phase of the economy when there is technological advancement. Reverse will happen if there is shock in the economy because of the decline in the level of technology. अगर decline आता है level of technology में, then reverse will happen and the recession in the economy will happen. Recession होगा economy में. So this is the effect of the technological shock. In the same manner, the promoters of this theory has said that it is not only the technological shock which works in the economy. Different type of shocks with works in the economy. Because of that, there is change in the investment, there is change in the consumption, there is change in the saving, and there is change in the output. But these shocks work on the supply side. ये supply side पे work करते हैं. Because of that, expansion and contractions takes place in the economy. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So this was a real business cycle theory. हमारी real business cycle theory है. If ये हमने लिया कि capital पे क्या capital stock पे क्या effect आया. The same effect of technology we can study on the labor market also. कि labor market पे या employment पे जो है इसका क्या effect आएगा. So over here we take the labor hours. यहाँ पे हम labor hours ले रहे हैं. Right? ये हमने एक फर्म के एग्जाम्पल से जो है सारी फर्म्स का एग्जाम्पल लिया. ये एक लेबर का एग्जाम्पल हम ले रहे हैं कि सपोज देयर इज वन पर्सन, राइट, हु इज वर्किंग in the economy, and his objective is to maximize his own utility, and his utility is a function of consumption and leisure time. जो वो leisure time और consumption enjoy करता है, that maximize his utility. So objective of the person is to maximize his utility. But in order to have consumption, this person has to produce output. इसको output, because in order to produce the output he will get the wage, उसको wages मिलेंगी. So that means the objective of the person is to maximize the utility, and in order to, his utility is a function of consumption and leisure, and he is a rational person. His objective is the optimization of his utility. Because of that, there is a trade-off between work and leisure, optimum trade-off between work and leisure. और work और leisure का labor supply curve हम already study कर चुके हैं. We remember that कि कितने hours work करेगा, कितने hours leisure enjoy करेगा, wherever his utility gets maximized. करते हैं हम indifference curve से जब निकालते हैं supply curve of labor.
Yes ma'am, backward bending.
बैकवर्ड बेंडिंग पे हम नहीं जाते, अगर हम फॉरवर्ड पे ही रहे तब भी हम उसको यूटिलिटी कर्व से अपने या इंडिफरेंस कर्व से जो है डराइव करते हैं. सो यूटिलिटी ऑफ द पर्सन, ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ द पर्सन इज टू मैक्सिमाइज द यूटिलिटी. यूटिलिटी डिपेंड्स ऑन कंजम्पशन एंड लेजर टाइम. फॉर कंजम्पशन ही नीड्स इनकम, उसको इनकम की रिक्वायरमेंट है, एंड इन ऑर्डर टू गेट दैट इनकम ही हैज टू वर्क, उसको वर्क करना पड़ता है, right? And how much time he will work and how much leisure he will enjoy, that depends on that at what level of equilibrium his utility gets maximized, uski maximized ho rahi hai. So when at whatever point his utility gets maximized, that much hours he will devote to work, and leftover hours he will devote to leisure ko devote karega. And now in order to consume he has to produce the output produce karni hai, and output in the economy is a function of depends on supply shock, and जिसको हम rate of technology, state of technology कह रहे हैं, depends on the state of technology, capital and labor, capital और labor ले रहे हैं. Now suppose there is technological advancement, बिल्कुल यही वाला मॉडल हम ले रहे हैं कि कैपिटल और इस पे डिपेंड करेगी. जहां तक कैपिटल का सवाल है, कैपिटल इन दी प्रेजेंट टाइम पीरियड डिपेंड्स ऑन दी इन्वेस्टमेंट इन दी प्रीवियस टाइम पीरियड प्लस दी स्टॉक ऑफ कैपिटल व्हिच गेट एक्यूमुलेटेड विद टाइम, एक्यूमुलेट होता है टाइम के साथ. And with the change in, if suppose there is change in technology, agar technology change hoti hai, then this function will, suppose Z0, right now Z0 is the state of technology. If the technology get changed, then Z1 is the new state of technology because of technological advancement, and output is a function of capital and labor units. Now because of this technological advancement, over here we take output, यहाँ पे हम ले रहे हैं output, right? There is change in the production function, shift in the production function from this level when the state of technology is Z0, capital, which is a function of capital and labor, to this state where output is a function of Z1, function of capital and labor, right? Now what will happen? Suppose the income which is earned by this person right now is equal to YT, and he consumes some portion of this income and save some portion of this income. Whatever he is saving for future, that means he will not consume his entire income in the current time period. Whatever he is saving, if we are assuming that economy is in equilibrium, so whatever he is saving gets converted into investment. Investment में convert हो जाता है. That means whatever this person is saving right in a current time period, it will get invested and create the stock of capital in the next time period. So KT plus 1 is equal to saving प्लस 1 - S, तो प्रीवियस कैपिटल स्टॉक जो है KT टाइम पीरियड से आ रहा है, where ST is equal to investment. So KT plus 1, that means the stock of capital in the future time period will depend on the savings which is done by the person in the current time period. This savings will convert into investment plus the accumulated stock of capital from the previous time period. Is that clear?
Ma'am, this ST is saving.
ST saving. Either he is consuming or out total income, he is dividing it into